Hello, good morning. My name is, oh, hello, good morning. My name is Brian Snyder. I am the founder of Your Body Never Lies, which is an internal body language training system. Internal body language are the messages that your body gives you. These can come in the forms of physical sensations or impressions, feelings, thoughts, words, sounds, any information that comes to you from and through your body, I consider body language. And I focus on body language because body language is the language of our subconscious. And when we learn to read body language, we can read subconscious. This training program teaches you to understand yourself better so that you can free yourself of the subconscious binds that happen when we get traumatized and hurt when we're children. So that can be a lot to unpack. And the good news is that I have spent 30 years trying to figure this out because I had a crappy childhood and I did not enjoy suffering and figured that my birthright as a human connected to all that is to be happy. So I wanted to figure out, why I wasn't happy. And what I discovered essentially is that we are basically like elephants in that every traumatic event that's ever happened to us that we have not fully processed and fully confronted and fully resolved continues itself. It perpetuates itself in the background, and our subconscious actually believes that those events are still happening. So this is why we all have automatic responses. They're usually reactive. So our reactive responses are due to childhood traumas, basically. And if you're at a point in your life that you understand that, then you will absolutely love my program. Because what I have done is I have deconstructed that mechanism that has our body believing that old events are still happening. If you know anything about elephants, that's basically what they do is if they get traumatized, they get stuck in the trauma. And we do too, it's just a little more subtle. So that particular mechanism that traps our trauma and holds on to it, it's actually, that's not hardware. That is not something that you need to carry with you. It's actually just a software glitch created by trauma, actually. So when you resolve the trauma that created that glitch, the glitch goes away. And then essentially you're free. You are free to be yourself and not have your past get continually rekindled to upset you or to upset people around you. That's not actually the purpose of the training. That's just the first layer, because it turns out once you fix that software glitch in the back of your mind, the world opens up and suddenly manifestation becomes a lot easier. Intuition becomes a lot easier. Connecting with other people becomes a lot easier. Understanding others and being understood. All of the spiritual qualities that make life interesting and fun and growth-filled suddenly open up. And that's not an accident. The trauma that perpetuates our past upsets. It also prevents us from enjoying, I don't know, what some people call the power, the yogic powers. But I'm not into teaching the yogic powers. That's not what this is about. This is about freeing yourself so that you can be yourself and explore your abilities on your own. But what I have created, I call the YBNL College. It's at the ybnlcollege.com. I believe right now for $10 you can get in and you can see what's going on. You can take the first workshop. You can interact with me, get your questions answered, and find out what this program is and see that it'll work for you. You can also just do it for free here on YouTube. Come to my channel and look for the playlist called the YBNL Online Play Shop, or watch the video called Shift Your Inner Dialogue. And also there's a great video. Well, I don't think it's a great video. The Best Guru on the Block is one of my latest favorites. So Today, on Saturdays, I answer questions primarily from people watching the YouTube videos, and which, by the way, are the same as the ones that are at the college. The college, when you come to the college, you join a community and you get better access to me. And that's basically what the college is about. If you don't care to get your questions answered, you don't want to join college, you can get the information for free from YouTube. So, yeah, watch the videos here on YouTube and then call in with your questions, or you can text them in. I have a student who actually texted me. Let's see. The question is about trying to understand a situation by referencing our past, finding compassion by relating to something we've experienced or witnessed before. This doesn't feel like measuring and comparing, but it is looking to the past. So it sounds like this person is trying to figure out how to better connect with people who are going through a hard time. And it is absolutely incorrect to try to think of a situation that you went through that was similar to try to understand what they're going through. Didn't you watch Star Wars? Don't try. Try doesn't do anything. Either do or not do. So we either connect and feel what the other person's going through, or we don't connect and we watch from a distance. And if you're watching from a distance, trying to figure out how to understand what's going on, well, you get to connect. How to connect? Wow, there are details to connection that really belong in the college. But connection, if at the end of the day or at the end of all of our training, the end of whatever this life is, if we're looking to be one, if we're looking to find out what this means that there's only one, then that means it's not that we are separate and trying to connect. It means that we're all one under the delusion that we're separate. And that perspective, even if you don't feel that you're like one with everybody, if you understand that intellectually that you're one, suffering from an illusion that you're not, that can actually make it a lot easier to connect. Because when you interact with other people, you recognize that they are you. They are you. Everybody you connect with and meet and talk to is a reflection of you. And, this is true on so many levels that, you should just know that. No matter what level you perceive it on, it's true. When we reference our past to connect with somebody, if you see somebody with a broken leg, and so you say, "Oh, I'm really sorry you broke your leg," and then you remember when you broke your leg, you're not actually having compassion for that person who's having a hard time right here, right now. What you're doing is rekindling a past memory and getting stuck in it. And so you might be able to say to the person, "Oh, I understand what it's like to have a hurt leg because you remember how you hurt your leg," but that is different than connecting and feeling their right here, right now pain. And at the end of the day, that's what connecting is about. Because connecting with people in an unconditional love space is really easy. I mean, that's one of the first workshops at the college. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. If you want to be in unconditional love and just connect with people all day, that's really great and amazing. But eventually you're going to trigger somebody, because love brings up anything and everything unlike itself for the purposes of healing. And so when you are loving people and they start getting upset, if you are not trained in how to remain connected through upsets, I don't care how much training you've had in unconditional love, you're just not going to be able to connect with that person, because they're just going to think you're an idiot. They're going to think that you're just in la la land, being all in love while they're upset about something, trying to communicate with you. So learning how to connect with others outside of being in the unconditional love and oneness space, but actually being in the I'm a human being space, that takes not necessarily more effort, but it does take some skill. It takes skill. And that's what the college is about. It's about learning those skills. So when we talk about connecting, What are the pieces of connecting? Well, you've got two people, right? One here and one here, and they appear to be separate. And for the purposes of this, we're just going to set aside the whole oneness thing. um, to bridge the gap between two people is an amazing miracle anytime it happens, because distance between any two living things is literally infinite. It cannot be measured. Intellectually, the chasm is too great. And even if you went to the same school and learned the same language and had the same teachers and had the same friends, and you think you grew up exactly the same, understanding each other, there's always going to be minor variations in how we understand things intellectually. And that makes connecting very, very difficult. Intellectually, we have to connect emotionally or through body sensations. So when we feel connected, we are connected. And I think I have a video about that already. I'm not going to get into why that's true. Feeling connected has everything to do with being here now and absolutely nothing to do with looking into our history. When we take attention off of right here, right now, and look into our past to try to remember something, we literally take attention away from the present moment and we start missing out on some of the information that we would otherwise get. When we reference the past, we naturally cannot connect with what's in the present moment because our attention is elsewhere. I mean, you may as well be on your iPhone, cell phone, texting somebody 1,000 miles away. It's no different than just going into your mind and like trying to remember what happened to you way back when. You're still tuning out, going into a virtual reality and disappearing from right here, right now, where connection happens. So, part of that question was about, well, to connect with somebody who's going through something, can I, maybe recall something I went through that was similar to try to connect? And the answer is no. The connection won't be real. If anything, it'll be a connection of sympathy, which perpetuates struggle and trauma, as opposed to compassion. So if you feel their pain right here, right now, that's compassion. You literally are standing underneath their pain and feeling it come onto you. That is understanding, literally. And that can be tremendously helpful to somebody who's going through stuff. It can also be tremendously beneficial to a friendship. Being willing to stand underneath somebody and feel the weight of the energy they're going through. That's literally what understanding means. And, take away the word trauma or heavy energy and slip in understanding or slip in knowledge. You want to get somebody's knowledge, you have to stand under them. And I don't mean physically. I mean, you need to make yourself smaller to them and spiritually look up to them and let the energy come to you. And, if someone's hurt and you see them as small and you're looking down on them because they're hurt and you're not hurt and that makes you a bigger person or something, you're not going to understand them. You're not going to connect with them. You are literally being a narcissist. And I've had to look into this narcissism thing recently because I had to kick one out of my life. And, narcissism it's based on the idea of Narcissus, who was so in love with his reflection in the pool of water that he missed out on what was going on around him. And I'm not an expert on that story, but I do know a thing or two about people and about myself. There's nothing wrong with loving being yourself. I love being me. I love being me. Like, I would not trade my life for anybody else's. There are some things I like to heal, some things I like to shift, but I love my life and I can't imagine doing anything else with myself. That's different than being in love with my reflection, because if I was in love with my reflection, then I would think I was really neat and I would think my life was so cool. And that's not how I think about my life at all. When we're being narcissistic and looking at ourselves to understand the world outside of ourselves, I mean, that's really what Narcissus is doing. instead of connecting with the person that he's sitting next to at the river or the pond, he's looking at his reflection and wondering what that person is thinking about himself. Well, I wonder if they can see my reflection too. I wonder if they think I'm as pretty as I am or whatever. And that's not connecting. And narcissism in other people is really easy to notice, but we all do it. And looking into our own history to find a way to connect with somebody is a way that we do that. And this isn't to make the questioner wrong, because you're not wrong. We all do this. It's just that, look at the math here. We're looking to connect with somebody, but instead of putting our energy on them, if we put our energy onto our history to try to understand what's going on with that person, all we're really doing is being incestuous with our energy. We're turning our energy back on ourselves, and we're looking at our own pain and going, oh, wow, wasn't that terrible? And then imagining it must be terrible for this other person too. But that's imagination. That's a fantasy. That's not actual connection and actual empathy. That's literally looking at our own reflection in order to gain some sort of validation, in this case, connection from the world. And this is a subtle layer. And wow, to get to this place where this matters, you should, pat yourself on the shoulder. When we truly let go of trauma, like when you do the play shop, and most people, doing the play shop one time is not enough. And it only takes a couple of weeks, so don't even sweat it. Like, you'll do it once, you'll be like, wow, I graduated. And then a month later, you'd be like, catch yourself doing something dumb again. You'd be like, oh, wow, I thought I got over this. No, you do the play shop several times. Our subconscious trusts repetition. And you need to repeat things a few times. You need to repeat to yourself that it's okay to connect with other people. It's okay to have empathy and truly understand another person. But that experience gets to be repeated so that our subconscious trusts it. And the more it trusts it, then the less these questions come up, and the less we want to look at our past, Besides, looking at our past just takes our attention away from being here now. And being here now is the key to everything. Everything that you are looking for, everything that matters, everything of any significance happens and is happening right here, right now, in your presence, in your personal space, within your reach. And the reason you are not getting those things that you desire, meaning unconditional connection, unconditional love, unconditional and unlimited intuition, and ability to manifest whatever you desire, that all happens in the present moment at any time. It's not going to happen when you finally get your training done in 6 weeks or 6 months, or in your next life when you finally decide to become a monk, and maybe blah, 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 blah. That's all nonsense. Just set all your stuff aside and be here now. Feel your body, because your body never lies. Listen to your body's messages. If your body tells you to come to the college, come to the college. Join up. If your body tells you to drop always paying attention or always looking at your old stuff and to start enjoying life in front of you right here, right now, like, listen to it, do it. That means feeling your body. Listening to your body means you get to feel your body. So if you're in a funk, guess what? Your attention is in your past, and the way to be here now is to feel your body. So pinch yourself, because guess what? You are dreaming. You are daydreaming if you're thinking about your past. Just pinch yourself, you'll feel your body, and you'll be right back here with what's going on. So let's get back to that question. You've got a friend who needs empathy, who needs understanding, who's going through something, and you're trying to connect, and you really want to help them out, right? If you catch yourself remembering when the same thing happened to you, or if you catch yourself thinking about when this thing happened to your cousin one time or whatever else, discontinue that, because you're jumping into a fantasy. You're jumping into a daydream. Pinch yourself. Literally make your body hurt. Go, ow, ooh, ow. And once you do that, you can literally start to feel what's going on with the person's body. If you're present, you feel what's happening with other people. And if you don't believe me, go to a cocktail party, pinch yourself, and notice how your body feels. Go to one side of the room, pinch yourself, feel your body, and maybe you'll feel happy and elated. And then go to the other side of the room, pinch yourself, feel your body, and maybe you'll feel some sadness. And literally, when you feel your body, you are tuning into the environment around you. And that's a little bit beyond the introductory courses at Your Body Never Lies, but it's a really good thing to know and to remember, even if you never come take a workshop. All right. Well, if you'd like to, come to the YBNLcollege.com. You can also come to yourbodyneverlies.org. And well, we're just getting open. There's a couple dozen workshops for you. It's going to take you probably a year to get through the whole thing. And I'd love to see you there. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you here next Saturday. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.